Hi there, I'm P-Man, the good arbitrator. Don't you know that arbitrators are impartial and independent? Well, Thai Arbitration Act 2545 says so, and so do I. Now, I personally believe that arbitrators are impartial and independent until being challenged by either one of the parties. That's why I became an arbitrator for you, my favorite client.
Arbitration is a private adjudication process whereby the parties consent to submit a dispute to an arbitrator for the final and binding award. An arbitration is only as good as the arbitrator. As such, he must be impartial and independent. So let's see how a real arbitrator actually practices.
Impressive introduction, P-Man. So, tell us what led you to become an arbitrator, a career of justice?
Justice. Now, most normal people would answer justice, but I'm not like that. You see, being an arbitrator comes with a lot of perks, mainly a lot of compensations. That is why, of course, I chose to become an arbitrator and apply my expertise in whoever would hire me.
So, you want money, huh? P-Man, what do you think is the most crucial legal ethic element for an arbitrator?
Now, of course, we don't want to use that term. We don't want to use money. It's compensations, of course. But to answer your question, ethics. Ethics is, of course, the backbone of the legal world. Without ethics, we would probably have a society with unruly people. You see, the most important legal ethic is impartiality and independence. It's about maintaining an objective, clear mindset, and of course not being biased against any of the parties. This is what makes arbitration fun. Now that I've mentioned it, let's start with the first principle, which is equality.
Interesting perspective, P-Man. Now, can you elaborate what equality is in this sense? How does that fit into the arbitrator duties?
Of course, equality is one of the most important duties of arbitration. It is, to make sure that there are no apparent biases, to treat each side equally, whether that be in letting them present their cases or, reviewing their evidences. However, I do have my own theories of what is equality. Basically, my dear interviewer, equality is a fancy way of saying that I try to make it seem like I'm fair to both parties, whereas, of course, we all know that I would provide the best service to the person who compensates me the most. Now, let me elaborate what equality means. Equality really is a sham. It's all about creating an illusion, a perception of fairness so that I'm not challenged by the other party. I'm just here to make sure that the client that compensates me the most is, of course, well compensated. That's why I graduated with a Bachelor's of Law and also a master's degree in deception.
So this means you are not giving the fair opportunity of adducing evidence and presenting the argument to the parties?
No, my dear interviewer, I do give those opportunities to the parties. If you don't believe me, you can ask him. He's my client.
Alright, hello sir. What should I call you then?
Hello, my name is Patis, and the counsel of the term.
Now, I think we should move on to another practice. Under Thai criminal code, there is a punishment for bribery. How about in the career of arbitration? Is there such any?
Oh.
Oh yeah, P-Man, about the pending case of
Yes.
clients that is in the arbitration.
I can't talk to you about that. That's ex parte communication. But don't worry, it's big red flag. I don't see color. However, with regards to deciding the case, I'm arbitrator. I must decide the case based on the facts and evidence without bias.
Yeah, that is we profoundly understand your duty and obligation. So that is why we bring you an additional part of the million facts and evidence.
How much?
1,000,000 facts and evidence.
That's a very persuasive. But I must be impartial and independent.
Yeah, so that is why we also bring you a pie of the impartiality.
I'm already impartial. Where's my independence?
Here's your independence.
So 3 million?
3 persuasive facts and evidence,
Of course.
impartiality and independence. Not 3 million.
Of course. Compensation. Well, you're right. Lucky for you, I am such a good arbitrator. So, with my impartiality and my independence, I shall, of course, take this facts and evidence into consideration for the interest of justice. Bribery, well, you see, I have many opinions about so-called bribery. I don't see it as bribery, we call it incentives, That's the term we use, incentives to make sure that the decision is made in the interest of justice. But of course, we can't be too obvious about it. We have to be discreet. After all, we're regulated by the pesky Thai Arbitration Act. So you'll never find me directly demanding or accepting anything that is clearly a bribe. But, I do have a business at Nonthaburi, It's a P-Man and Friends Company Limited, We're an electronics appliances business. Sometimes we do accept customers from certain interested parties, which are obviously independently operating for the best interest of themselves, to make sure that I am not influenced by any purchases that they do. Hey, just because I upsell a charger for 10,000% doesn't mean that I am breaking the law. It's completely legitimate business practice. In fact, I use it for tax planning. So how can I get caught? Secondly, if you were to consider it a bribe, exactly. It's all about plausible deniability. Like I said, it's normal business practice. We use it for business expense to make sure my taxes are low, to make sure that I am independent and impartial, free from any external influences. Yes. The law. The law is like water. Don't think about it too much, Just go with the flow. There is criminal liability for the giving side, that's correct. But there's also criminal liability for the receiving side. If I don't speak and they don't speak, who's gonna know? You haven't read the law. There's section 23, paragraph 1, and I'm immune. The plaintiff has the burden of proof. So if no one speaks up, who's gonna know? Impartiality and independence is stated in section 19 of the Thai Arbitration Act. However, when defining it, it's not really defined by law, but the general concept is impartial is, of course, no bias against the parties, right? And independent is I'm not influenced by external things. All my decisions are made with facts and evidence, right? With regards to the duty of disclosure, that's paragraph 2. It's only in cases where there are certain facts that give rise to justifiable doubts as to it. But only those. If it does not, then I will not disclose it. So we look at practice, right? We look at how the courts determine it. For example, the Thai courts generally look at subjective standard, but here's a pretty good international standard. It's called the 2014 International Bar Association Guidelines on Conflict of Interest. It's separated into 3 lists. Red list, orange list, green list. So red list is the list that is, you must disclose it and it is non-waiverable. So you cannot waive it, right? Orange list is same thing, you must disclose, but you can waive it. Right? And final is green list, which is there's no duty to disclose at all.
Your answer is very unusual this time. It seemed more professional than previous one. Perhaps I will give you some circumstances. And can you tell whether you will disclose this or not?
Whether I will?
Yes.
Oh, okay, of course.
Okay. First, you are currently giving the advice for one party.
Nah.
You work in the same law firm as one counsel for the party.
Of course not.
Party to the conflicts is your brother-in-law.
Nah.
You are director of the company, which is one of the disputed party.
Nope.
But all of them are in the red list.
You see, as I said before, red list, green list, they are different, but I don't see color.
You colorblind?
Yes.
But it was written down as red.
No comment. Skibidi bop, 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 skibbity, yeah, 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 skibbity, bop, skibbity, bop.